Sandy Marquardt. Life is short. Life is short. Sandy Marquardt.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, my dad died when he was only 48. My brother died when he was 45. And my best friend for my entire life died when she was 42. I'm familiar with grief, and while I don't wish these experiences on any of you, there is something that the death of a loved one can accomplish that little else in this world can do. It gets you to face your own mortality. You realize that death doesn't come just for the elderly or well-lived lives. It can come for anyone at any time. The death of my loved ones taught me to say three things. Say yes, say no, and say I love you, because life is short. Say yes. Say yes to that child who wants to read a book or play a game. Say yes to your friends and family when they need help, even when it's inconvenient. Say yes to those unexpected opportunities for fun. My best friend called me shortly after her divorce saying that she was getting a lump sum payment and planning to use it as a down payment for a house for her and her boys. However, she was offered the opportunity to take her boys to Disney in Florida and wondered my opinion if it was frivolous or irresponsible to use some of that money for a vacation. I told her, you will always have bills, but you will not always have these boys in your life. They will grow up and move out. Take the vacation, I told her. She took the vacation. They had a great time. And 6 months later, she was dead. No one regrets that she spent the money on the vacation. When you invest your time and money into friends and family, you reap great rewards. Say yes, because life is short. You can't say yes to everything. It's impossible. So you must also learn to say no. Say no to serving on yet one more committee. Say no to those things in life that just aren't that important. I personally have decided that a clean house is highly overrated. One of the most common regrets, research shows that when people have terminal illness and they're dying, their common regret is, I wish I hadn't worked so much. These workaholics miss out on their children's youth and their spouse's companionship. They couldn't say yes to the most important people in their life because they first didn't learn to say no to working overtime. I'll never forget the summer my dad said no. It was the summer between my junior and senior year in high school, and he was a bit of a workaholic until he lost his job. And he said no to even looking for another job that summer. He spent the summer fixing things around the house for my mom on the honey-do list. He took me camping and canoeing. He coached my softball team. It wasn't Disney, but these are precious memories for me. When you invest your time in your family, you are going to reap a lifetime of memories. You don't have to quit your job to spend time with family. It's a drastic example, but you do sometimes have to say no to make room in your life to say yes. Say no, because life is short. Say, I love you. I know, many of you said it on your wedding day. But that doesn't cover you for life. You have to say it often and say it so they understand it. Dr. Gary Chapman, in his book, The 5 Love Languages, explains how people feel love differently. For many, talk is cheap. Some people feel love most when they're given gifts. Others feel love most when they have acts of service done for them. And some people just need you to spend time with them. Find out what the love language is for the people in your life and learn to speak it. I'll warn you, learning to speak another language is very difficult. My best friend's love language was gifts. You might think that's not a problem, but I'm not your typical woman. I hate shopping. It was very difficult for me to learn, but I did learn. Because every time I placed even a token gift in her hand, her eyes would light up with joy, and I would know she felt loved. You fish with worms because that's what fish like to eat, not what you like to eat. And you learn to speak the love language of the people in your life so that they are left with no doubts that you love them. Say, I love you, because life is short. Francis Chan once said, the greatest fear in life should not be failure, but of success in things that don't really matter. Do you know what matters to you? Have you even thought about it? Or do you go through life on autopilot, doing the same things day after day? Or maybe you live in the tyranny of the urgent, doing the things you think must be done today, instead of the things that are actually most important. We are all mortal, and we all will die someday, but you're not dead yet. I urge you today to consider for yourselves to who, what, and when you will say yes, say no, and say I love you, because life is short. Let us.